Hello everyone, it's the 20th day of our reflective tarot read, which is 2 weeks and 6 days of the Oma, and happy Beltaine Eve everybody. It's a lovely one to be doing Yesod of Tiferet, the 9th and the 6th, because Yesod really is a place of conception. Its name is El Chai Shaddai. It means Shaddai means Almighty God, one of the names of Shaddai. And El Chai, Chai is life force. So it's that kind of connection, generativity, creativity, intimacy, desire, relationship, yearning, you know. So that real kind of creative Sephirot that is. But it's the first time we've had the two connected, and all these energies kind of funnel down into Tiferet. We've got this unbounded abundance and love of Hesed, balanced off with Geburah, the limitation, going into the heart, Tiferet. And then we have the Netzach, the kind of outward going ego in the mastery, and that submission of Hod going into Yesod. So it's filtering all the way down. So it's, you know, that dynamic tension of the mastery and submission and unbounded abundance and structure. So Yesod and Tiferet channel all the energies of the Sephirot, and they radiate, or they're supposed to radiate, through our bodies and then emanate outwardly. So kind of a bit like the orgasmic energy. They're supposed to explode into this world and create. So that emanation outwardly into Malkut, love, compassion, and the kind of connection that comes from a complete connection. So it's the embodiment of all those energies from the heart and sacral. So all those energy centers are creative center. So it's relational, and it's meant to bring a deep intimacy when we're balanced, you know, when we got it all balanced to the all, the kind of the source of all things. Balanced in relationship to ourselves, to other people, our environment, the cosmos, source, like that. So this is where we are when we're reflecting on this pair. The underlying premise is source in all and through all, including the manifestations we create. So that's kind of where our minds are meant to be aligned to, in terms of bringing that sacred joining of the masculine and the feminine. Yeah, so all is one. Quantum entanglement, loving, passionate connection, out of which creation is manifested. And what we manifest differs, and it's dependent on the balance. So we got obviously we're doing the swords, we got the 9 of Swords, which doesn't look like Yesod energy. It's kind of the shadow, and then we've got the Tiferet, the 6. 9's actually numerologically, I can never say that, numerologically is a place of great strength, and it's preparation for a new cycle. So when this Yesod energy appears, it's, you know, time to examine the present situation. What's led to it? Is it positive? Is it negative? What's creating out into this world from that? If it's positive, great. You got a good creation. You've conceived, and you're birthing a good creation. If it's negative, then it still needs to be birthed and released, so to speak. So, you know, it might be our ideas, beliefs, behaviour patterns, people, situations, the past, the future. But that releasing is to move on, the Tiferet, because you'd be going up. It goes down, but it goes up. So it's to move on, you know, with a wisdom, learning from that. So yeah, the nine of swords kind of, it typifies the sort of shadow side of Yesod. So all that connectivity and intimacy, it's kind of a separation. It typifies the shadow of that. So, you know, he's tortured in the mind. She is up all night. You know, those times when your mind's racing, but it's not like thinking about your shopping tomorrow. This is like, it's dark, it's torture. This is kind of a tortured mind. And I always think of Van Gogh with this, and I think, you know, Van Gogh was a really, he was just the you know, the archetypal tortured artist, but actually he manifested that torture in the most beautiful art, you know, deep depth art. So he did actually create something out of that darkness. But yeah, it's from imbalance. So this is not having that temperance balance, you know, and this temperance, which sits between Yesod and Tiferet, that is what we're meant to gain from this. We shouldn't avoid this. We shouldn't stay in this, but we definitely shouldn't avoid it, you know, reject it. So it's a kind of a picture of heart opening in process, and often when we're tortured, you know, it is a heartbreak, but heart breaking open. So the opening of Tiferet, the opening of the heart. So it shouldn't be looked at negatively, and we all end up there. One point or another, we'll all be, or all have been, that person sitting there. So yeah, it's that when the balance comes, it's a reconnection of the mind of these swords, and this kind of mindset of separation, loss, and a reconnection of that mind to the heart, so that heart-brain coherence, you know. And the Six of Swords, you know, that's the picture of moving on. You've done your kind of balance and adjustment, you know, you've had compromise, patience, and you're balancing all the elements. So that's the process of moving on. That's the process of having your heart broken open, so to speak, via the mind. This is, you know, the new mindset to move on from that, whatever it is, whatever that mental torture is. So yeah, so that's I know it's not exactly, but it's looking at the shadow of that, and it's looking at the work you have to do in the balancing to move either up or down, you know. And we're supposed to be manifesting that beautiful creativity, and it, you know, often that creativity comes through pain, that movement comes through the difficulties. So although it's shadow, it's a shadow we should embrace, you know. When we're kind of tortured mentally, or we have, you know, lots and lots, it's often because we got that imbalance. We're not seeing that everything is interconnected. We're not seeing, or we've had, you know, our desires thwarted. We've lost the things we love or we want. So yeah, it's the heart Tiferet, and the creative expression of self in connection to others is that Yesod, that coming together of the masculine and feminine in a spiritual way, in the balance, but then relating outwardly in Malkuth into the world with that balance. So it's the seat of creation in that sense, and embracing the polarity of all we are and all that is. So both of those are places of expansion and creativity, whether we see them negatively or positively. So I guess questions that I asked was, you know, what are the polarities, the tensions, the things that seem to be irreconcilable, you know, that keep me up at night. You know, that dynamic tension, because it's exploring that dynamic tension. You know, am I running away? Is this a card of running away from that pain? That, you know, just let's go to another shore. I mean, you can see in that it's a grey shore. So that could actually be read as it's not the right shore that you go into. So yeah, I kind of asked those questions. So am I running away from facing up to difficulties? What dynamic tensions, what polarities are held in my beliefs, in my emotions, in my relationships? And is that opening my heart, or am I closing down? You know? So yeah, and where's the imbalance in thoughts and feelings, perception? You know, am I open emotionally? Am I opening to hearing, or am I rejecting and running away from, you know, Spirit's attempt to crack me open? Because we often, unfortunately, need cracking open. Yeah, so they're my sort of thoughts on that, because ultimately we're meant to have this beautiful connection within ourselves, with each other, you know, with our environment, with the cosmos, energetically, physically, emotionally, mentally, with Source. There's meant to be that flow down. So the Oracle card is number 34, the Sacrament of Extreme Unction. It's an interesting card, this. If you don't know, the Sacrament of Extreme Unction, I'm going to go on about death again, is the Catholic tradition of last rites. So they do a last rite so that the soul moves from the body gracefully. You know, it's a rite of passage, last rites. But this is about spiritual sacrament of extreme unction. So we could see this, you know, if anybody is in that position, or you find yourself in that position, it's because you're transitioning. Number 9, you're transitioning. It's the time where you're meant to break open and you're meant to release. I mean, Yesod is kind of almost like release. Well, not like, it is release out into the world. It's that. It's to do with the genitals. It's to do with sex, explosion, orgasm. So kind of spiritually, it's about that ejaculation, that ejection of the things that hold us, whether it's beliefs that we're separate, you know, whatever's in there that is causing blockage to that beautiful flow. So yeah, it's a spiritual last rite. So it's kind of a cleansing and a liberation into the fulfillment, you know, the fullness of your next phase. 10s follow, which are complete ends and new cycles. Yeah, so they were my reflections on those cards. What I'll do now is I'll put pull us our chakra card. So we got Yesod, which is our sacral, and we got Tiferet, our heart. So I've got these sacral and heart cards. So see what else, or if there's a specific area we need to look at. Oh, inspiration. So yeah, I mean, I talked about, that's the sunrise thing again. So, you know, this is about resurrection. I think that I spoke before about resurrection and sunrise being synonymous, but also like sunset in terms of this, you know. I mean, that's not that doesn't look inspiring, does it? But actually we can get inspiration from that. I spoke about Van Gogh, you know, and Van Gogh was tortured, but what Van Gogh done, he sought meaning out of his pain, and the pictures he draws, if you go look at them, he sees like this energetic flow. I mean, he does all these flowing, beautiful paintings, and clearly he was like really jammed up. So it's almost like a different energy came from that. He expressed what he wasn't able to express kind of in his mind, that flow. His pictures are all flowing. So it kind of reminds me of the you know, within atoms you've got the negative and the positive. It's a dance of creation, negative and positive. So out of Van Gogh's torture, he had inspiration. He looked at the landscape and he spoke about the landscape being in flow, and yet his own mental health, his own mind was very fixed, very stuck. Yeah. So I think there can be inspiration in those difficult things, and I think if we look at it like that, then we can be inspired to have that perseverance. I mean, we're looking at all these polarities, well, seeming polarities, but the joining of them all. That Yesod is one of the most energetically powerful energies you can come across. So we can be in those positions, yeah, but don't lose inspiration. You know, seek out the deeper meaning of your situation. You know, what's spirit saying to you? What's life saying to you? Where do you need to crack open? What do you need to release? What needs an extreme unction? What do you need to give over? I'll give us a read from these. Yeah, it's funny because we see, you know, sunsets and sunrise. We kind of don't see the beauty in the what we term bad stuff. But kind of, you know, the sunset is, you know, the ancients called it, it goes down in the west, they called it westing, dying. So I think we're kind of very caught up, especially in the Western world, in this, you know, immortality. You know, we don't see the beauty of what we term, we're very dual, we're very dualistic, you know. Oh, it's either good or it's bad, it's right or it's wrong. We don't try to merge. Well, within our alchemy we need to merge those things. We need to find inspiration in the good as well as the bad. I mean, life is hideous beauty. It's my favourite phrase, people will tell you. Hideous beauty. Right, oh, we got two there. So we got the Eight of Pentacles, we've got Justice, oh, and we got the Devil. Did we have him yesterday? That's me, isn't it? The Devil and Death. Last rites. There's beauty in that, I tell you. Right, so we got, yeah, 1 minute. Yeah, so we've got our 8 of Pentacles. So our 8 is Hod. So Hod is a submission. So kind of in terms of this read, I would say that's a submission. He's working, a submission to the work that you need to do, either your physical work or the kind of limitations of your work, you know, or it could be, you know, the work, our inner work that we're doing on ourselves, so we can manifest that beautiful light. So he's working. Then we got balance again, we got the justice, you know, the sword and the scale. So as far as this is concerned, you know, our 9, this is not only a promise of, you know, that sword will cut through and will bring a new beginning and it will be balanced. It's also about making decisions, you know, choosing whether you want to be tied to a kind of limited view of what difficulty is, or limited view of what beauty is. So I see this as what we're manifesting in the world, you know, in terms of our other cards, what we're manifesting, what are we chaining ourselves to? What do we need to balance our temperance? What needs to be balanced? What needs to be cut through? Yeah, and our work should be bringing that beauty, that absolute beauty. We're a work of art in ourselves, you know. And we can cooperate with that spirit's crafting to get us to our actual essence. As I said before, is already there. It's just all the gunk we got in the way. We need to have this extreme unction to get rid of the gunk that sits in between this beautiful flow of energy. That takes work. That takes decisions. Not your lower nature decisions, higher nature. So I'll just get us a message card. Okay. Oh, how many times? These are a new deck to me. I've got to go and improve myself, I think. But this is for us all. I think I pulled it on a couple of days ago. Do something to improve yourself. Any improvement you make will benefit all humanity. So yeah, this kind of difficulty that we have in our minds, you know, we can work not to get tied to it, to move forward and to find where our light is. Where's our sunrise? What suns are setting in our minds, you know, and what do we need to rise up? It's our spiritual work. And I'll bring us one more from this deck. Improve yourself, Karen. I think I said before I like that deck because oh, this is wanting to come out, because it's not all, you know, sweetness and light and cotton wool fluff. It's actually very direct. Do something to improve yourself. It sounds like a headmaster or mistress. Yeah, see, starseed. Raise the vibration of the planet through your radiant, loving light. Yeah. Sunrise. So let the sun set, you know, cut out and balance what is dimming your light, obstructing your light. and raise the vibration, your vibration, the vibration around you. Create something beautiful, you know. Okay then, hope you enjoyed that. Lots of love. Bye bye.